The Loudest Noise in the World by Benjamin Elkin. Pictures by James Daughtry. The Loudest Noise in the World. Copyright 1954. Printed in the United States of America. To the boys and girls of Rogers School. Once upon a time, the noisiest place in the world was a city called Hubbub. The people of Hubbub never talked. They yelled. They were very proud that their ducks were the quackiest, their doors were the slammiest, and their policemen's whistles the shrillest in the whole world. You are now entering Hubbub, the noisiest city in the world. Their favorite song was, "Slam the door, bang the floor, days we roar, nights we snore, hubbub!" Of all the noisy people in Hubbub, the noisiest was a young prince named Hullabaloo, even though he wasn't 6 years old yet. He could make more noise than the grown-ups. Hullabaloo loved to yell, bang pots and pans together, and blow a whistle all at the same time. His favorite game was to climb up a ladder, piling up trash cans and tin pails as high as he could, and then knock over the whole pile with a loud crash. He used to make the piles higher and higher, and they made louder and louder crashes. But he still wasn't satisfied. Prince Hullabaloo wanted to hear the loudest noise in the world. A few weeks before the prince's 6th birthday, his father, the king of Hubbub, asked him what he wanted for a birthday present. "I want to hear the loudest noise in the world," answered Hullabaloo. "Fine," said the king. "I'll order the royal drummers to get out the special super loud drums for the whole day." "But I've heard them before," complained the prince. "That wouldn't be the loudest noise in the world." "All right," promised the king. "I'll also order the policemen to blow their special super loud whistles." "I've already heard those too," said Hullabaloo. "They wouldn't be loud enough." "Tell you what," said the king. "At the same time I'll close the schools and have the children stay home all day and slam the super slammy doors. How's that?" "That would help a lot," agreed the prince, "but it still wouldn't be the loudest noise in the world." The king was a very kind father, but he began to lose his patience. "What's on your mind?" he asked. "What great idea do you have?" "Well," answered Prince Hullabaloo, "I'll tell you what I've been wanting for a long time. I want to hear every person in the world yell at the same minute. If millions and millions and millions of people all yelled together, I'm sure that would be the loudest noise in the world." The more the king considered the idea, the better he liked it. It might be fun, he thought. And besides, I'll go down in history as the first king who ever got all the people in the whole world to do the same thing at the same time. "Yes, I'll try it." Then the king of Hubbub got busy. He sent out hundreds of messengers to visit every country, from the hottest jungles to the coldest icelands. Every day thousands of messages were carried, by telegraph and tom-tom, by car and carrier pigeon, by airplane and dog sled. And soon the answers began to pour in. Everybody was delighted with the idea, and all would be glad to help. The whole world seemed to be thrilled by the thought that every living person would be yelling at the very same time. As the weeks passed and the birthday date grew nearer and nearer, the excitement grew greater and greater. In every country, people talked of nothing but Prince Hullabaloo's birthday. There wasn't a village in the world that didn't have a poster in its own language giving the exact minute of local time at which to yell, "Happy birthday!" One afternoon, in a city far away, a lady was talking to her husband about Prince Hullabaloo's birthday. "What bothers me," she said, "is how I'm going to hear everyone else yelling when I'm making so much noise myself. All I'll hear is my own voice." "You're right," answered her husband. "When the time comes, let's open our mouths with the rest of the crowd, but we won't make a sound then. Then, while all the others are shouting their heads off, we'll be quiet and really hear the noise." That seemed to be a wonderful idea. Without meaning any harm, the lady told her neighbors about their plan. Without meaning any harm, her husband told his friends at the office where he worked. Still without meaning any harm, the friends told their friends, and those friends told other friends. Before long, people all over the world, even in the city of Hubbub, were privately telling one another to open their mouths at the right time, but not to yell, so they would be able to hear all of the noise made by everyone else. No one was trying to spoil the prince's birthday celebration. It was just that each person thought, "My voice won't be missed among the many millions while all the others are yelling and screaming. It won't hurt if I stay quiet so I can really listen." And so the important moment came closer and closer. In all corners of the earth, crowds of people began gathering in their public meeting places. All over the world, eyes stared at the large clocks ticking away at the seconds. It seemed that a shock of excitement, like electricity, swept around the entire globe in Hubbub. Of course, the excitement was especially great. Thousands of people jammed the palace grounds, cheering and shouting, while high on the balcony, the young prince waited happily for the loudest noise in the world. 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Now! 2 billion people strained their ears to catch the loudest noise in the world, and 2 billion people heard nothing but absolute silence. Every person had kept quiet so he could hear the others yell. Every person had expected the others to do the work while he sat back and enjoyed it. What about the city of Hubbub, which had always been so proud of its noise? For the first time in 100 years, Hubbub too was silent and still. Instead of honoring their prince by the loudest noise in the world, they had belittled him by remaining absolutely quiet. The people bowed their heads in shame and started to creep away. Suddenly they stopped. What was that sound they heard up in the balcony? It couldn't be true. And yet there was the prince clapping his hands in glee and laughing happily. Sure enough, the prince was pointing to the garden with great delight. For the first time in his life, he was hearing the singing of a little bird, the whispering of the wind in the leaves, the ripple of the water in the brook. For the first time in his life, he was hearing the sounds of nature instead of the noise of hubbub. For the first time in his life, the prince had been given the gift of peace and quiet, and he loved it. Now the city of Hubbub is noisy no more. Instead, visitors see this sign: "Welcome to Hubbub, the city of quiet." The people of Hubbub speak gently. They are proud that their ducks are the quietest, their doors are the lightest, and their policeman's whistles the softest in the whole world.